Welcome everyone back to Pommy in Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. This Monday we're back to regular programming. We're going through the 22s. We're going to smash them out. If you do like the programming, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We have got a giveaway for, where are we, February. So that will be done on the first weekend of March, the first Saturday. And we will do a members giveaway. And this time, that will be the 4th of March. We are doing an AFL Guernsey of your choice. So that may appeal to someone that might not be a Blue fan. So make sure you're in that. Link is in the description there to become a member of the channel. It does help. If you're not a member, don't worry. We will be live Wednesday. I think we've earmarked. Me and Faz will be back doing our season preview. So throw in your questions for that. So let's get straight in. Gold Coast are the next cab off the rank. Excited about this one because Gold Coast are one of them teams that we've talked about in the pre-season that I'm not quite sure where they are. Potentially a chance for the 8, but then again they could collide. Who knows? But let's have a look at their 22 as I see it. We've gone Big Ben Long, we've gone Collins and Lemons. Now, Long is one of the most annoying players to watch, I find, as a neutral for Gold Coast and for St Kilda, where he's just come from. Real tenacious, so I think he does add that tenacious edge, which I don't think they've had for a while down the back. He's a real annoying little customer, and I think that there's more to his game. Now, he's one of them ones that, particularly from a fantasy perspective, I've had him in a few dynasty leagues. He's one of them guys that flatters to deceive, but he does a lot of things that numerically don't count. So I think he really does show them up. He's pretty good on the deck as well, and he's tough to beat one-on-one. Collins, I think, has really done well down the back, and I think he's really cemented his role, and I think probably Gold Coast would love to have 2 of this guy. And Lemons, I think, he's really solid, particularly coming in from that 3rd position. Really decent in the air. He's not so bad as one of them mid-sized crafty players as well. And I think as a backline, it might not excite you, but it is effective and it does what it says on its tin. So I don't mind that backline, and I think there's a lot of growth there. There's a lot of wait and see. The half back line, we've gone Ballard, Powell, Weller. I really like Will Powell. It's a tough one because I was trying to work out how you cram these in. That one of them teams definitely that I think that are tough to really cement where they are and what they can do. But I do think that he's a good user, especially Will Powell. I think he's a good user, and I think Weller as well adds that little steal. I do think when you look at Gold Coast's style, that they're looking for that run and stun. They're really looking to stifle opposition out wide and play the ball quickly. And I think that Weller plays into that particularly. And Ballard, I think this is what I was saying about needing 2 Collins. I do think that they're a key defender short. I think when I look at it, I think these guys are serviceable. But I think what separates Gold Coast from the top 8 is having that really elite key defender. And I think they've got maybe potentially that interceptability in development. But as of now, I still think that that's one of them wait and sees. It does get exciting though once we go a bit forward of that D50, doesn't it? Brendan Ellis, Tuck Miller and Hollands, we've gone with their centre line. Ellis is just class, isn't he? You see the expertise he brings from Richmond. We've seen Brisbane have that success with Hodge. Is Ellis Hodge calibre? Probably not, but he definitely is experienced. He's definitely tenacious, and he's definitely consistent. Holland's Elijah really did impress me last year, and when he got the game time, and I think he's a real find. And Tuck Miller, again, we talk about it a lot on this show, Tuck Miller. If he played for a Victorian team, he'd probably have a Brownlow. He looks in formidable shape as well from the images in pre-season, but he's a real class act, and credit to him that he's never moved, to be honest, because I think that he's one of these players that would probably make the starting 22 of every side in the AFL. An absolute real demon, particularly around stoppages. As a Carlton fan, I can tell you, Tuck Miller's direct running patterns of them stoppage lanes, the way he hangs out the back of that stoppage and directly attacks the ball is so hard, particularly in that forward 50 as well, which I think is an understated part of Tuck's game. But really well-rounded, real tough customer, and he'll be happy he's got the advent of Rowell and Anderson, which I think makes it really exciting for Tucken. Credit to him, a top class player. The half-forward line, we've gone with Joel Jeffrey, Ainsworth and Chol in the key position. Chol started the year with a bang, didn't he? And he's such an awkward player. Just the way that he sizes, the way he moves as well, really versatile. I really enjoyed Jeffrey playing in that third position. Got him on the half-forward here, but he did play in the pocket and stream from there as well. I really like it, especially when I think it's Sydney's round 1 for them. I think that is probably a really good matchup for them, Jeffrey there, just trying to get into them lanes that Chol and the full forward will reveal in a minute will create. And Ben Ainsworth, he's really steady, isn't he? I'm one of them fans that when I watch Gold Coast, when he's running inside 50, you know he's going to deliver it to someone and use the ball well. So he's a real good, steady 6.5 out of 10 deliverance. So I like that half-forward line. I think that is a tough half-forward line to match up on. The full forward line, we've gone with Michael Rosas Jr. Covered him quite at length at the draft, said that this guy was a real steal. And Gold Coast, obviously, with him linked with their academy, they took him. With the loss of ranking, I think Rosas doesn't make that a huge loss. He's really crafty. He's got great skills, real good pressure as well. His closing speed is impressive. We've gone Ben King in the key position. I'm really looking forward to seeing Ben King and what he can do. We've seen Max. Ben's had the year off, obviously, with the injury, but this kid here can play football. He's incredibly gifted. Him and Max are scary how similar they are in the way they play. And I think he's a welcome acquisition to them. They did play Levi Casbolt last year. I think that they'll go Ben King straight away. He's different. He's built different. Incredible in the air. Incredible mobility. Very good raw pace as well. And you know what? I would actually go as far to say that I think Ben King is the better kick of the two brothers as well. And we've gone Holman. This is a surprise. I find Holman, and I speak to a few Gold Coast fans, there are some out there, real understated what he does. Do you know what I mean? He's particularly his pressure. And I think that is an understated part of the AFL at the moment, is the defensive pressure in the forward half of the ground. Holman isn't exciting. You don't look at Holman and go, oh, thank God we've got Holman in the starting 22. But just based on numbers and by the eyes. But one thing that when you look at him, he's effective. He's all effective. And for me, he makes my on-field 18. The followers, this is where it gets tasty for them. Jared Witts. Who is the replacement for Jared Witts? We will come and talk about that a bit. But Jared Witts robbed of All-Australian last year. Easily the best ruckman in 2022. I don't even think it's close for consistent output and what he does. It's again how the AFL works. If you're highly mobile when you work both ends of the ground hard and you get 42 touches, AFL media will froth you. But as a ruckman, as the man who stands there and gets taps, Jared Witts was the best ruckman last year. Noah Anderson and Rowell together. This is going to be something that if Gold Coast can keep, they will make the 8 eventually. It's got to happen anyway, but I think these two are superstars, and you really started to get that combination going last year. The synergy starting to build. They really complement each other. And, you know, interesting enough, I actually thought Noah Anderson was better for large parts last year. I know Matt Rowell gets the kudos and gets the fame. He's the brand name. Noah Anderson, don't sleep on him. He's an absolute terrific footballer and someone that I really enjoy. I think his movement around tight spaces and his ability to work in traffic is impeccable, where Rowell is more rambunctious, would you say, in them clutch moments. I think Anderson's just that smooth class. He has that movement like Pendlebury where time stands still. I'm a big fan of Noah Anderson and one of my favourite footballers to watch. On the interchange bench then, we've gone David Swallow. I think he's a great interchange option. And it'll be interesting with the sub rule as well, what they do. Obviously on this show, we don't name a 23rd man because I think it's open to conjecture. And I think it's horses for courses, so I think that could change all the time. Jack Lukosius is there as well. And I think that this is where, you know, when we talked about the 23rd man, I think that's where you're going to start to see some people get original. Do you play a Levi Casbolt 23rd man? And if you are stretching a smaller side, bring him on and create that havoc there. Do you have the smaller one? But Lukosius, for me, I think with the time he spent down back and the way that he uses the ball, which I don't think we've seen enough in AFL, I think he's a perfect interchange player. And I think he's going to have high numbers as well, high minutes from the interchange. And I think he's been playing a lot more half forward in training. So the reporters tell me this will be really interesting because that's what he was drafted as. And Jack Lukosius is class. And I don't think Gold Coast fans have seen the best of what Lukosius can do. Swallow, as we said there, he brings that reliability, that energy. We talked about the run and stun technique, and I think Jeremy Sharp, with his ability to play down back and also on the wings, I'm really expecting a big year from him this year. And I think he has to go. His first year, he really did show signs. Last year, there was glimpses of it, but not enough for me. And I want to see more of it, but I do think he is best 22 material. And probably the big surprise is Bailey Humphrey. I think he's a walk-up start. It's going to be interesting what happens in the pre-season games and the scratch matches and waiting for some feedback on that. But I just think he's class. And he'll probably be touch and go. He is back training and things like that. But I just think for me, his talent levels with the miss of Rankine, this kid is better than Rankine and will have a much better career than Isaac Rankine. And Bailey is a friend of this channel as well. And I'm a big fan. And I can't wait to see him go out there because I think he's going to tear it apart. My pick for the rising star. The ones to watch then, because we don't name a 23rd man. We've got Mac Andrew. Obviously, he's got his problems at the moment, his suspension. But I think, like we said, there is that intercept position available. And Mac Andrew has got it all. Incredible at reading the ball in flight. Incredible pace. Decent kick. Good penetration. And attacks the ball. Modern day, that third defender. Moving forward as he puts the muscle on. Definitely a key position player as well. I can't wait to see his development. And when he comes back, this kid can play football. And it's a shame that obviously the punishment has happened. And that's happened now because I think there is a huge hole there. And I think he would be a walk-up start in that 22. Someone that I am super keen to see what we get from him. Sam Flanders is another one. I definitely reckon he'll be in the mix. Maybe if Bailey's not right, I reckon he will be in the mix. I think he's got something about him. Someone that I'm really excited about seeing moving forward. We've got Moyle as well, and I think he's learning off, like I say, probably the most consistent ruckman. Him and Goldie over the last 10, 15 years have been the most consistent output of ruckman, and I think he's at the right place. Real good, solid size. I did catch a few of his games last year, and I did notice that there was a huge improvement from when he'd come drafting. I think this is the future for Gold Coast. He definitely will get game time in 2023, and I'm really excited about it because I think he's got something about him, and he's not quite in the mode of Wits, but I think, you know, there's the similarities there, and he is that more modern-day ball-playing type ruckman. And Alex Davies, probably stiff not to be in my 23. I thought he was really solid, but this kid can play, and his ability to play pretty much all the lines as well is impressive. He was a real big kept secret in his draft class. Really stood out, particularly at the state level games. And this kid can play football, and I'm really excited about seeing him. Real quick. He's got that deceptive pace that it doesn't look quick to the eye, but it is so effective. His straight line speed is pretty impressive. Good user, and someone that moving forward I think will get a lot of game times for Gold Coast and complement that midfield. They're a real young list, and I think people forget that if you actually look at their players under 25, there's a hell of a lot of them, and you'd say 92.8% are literally AFL footballers in the making. So it's a real slow build for Gold Coast, and if they can keep these players together, they will be a force. It's just when it breaks through. And I think that they're probably one big summer marquee signing away from really going off. Gold Coast are that team that I think sleep on them at your peril, but definitely will be looking to do some damage in 2023, and a team that you probably don't want to play, because I think when everyone's all fit, that style of football that Jew's trying to get them to play is damaging. It is tough to do it. But that's Gold Coast Suns. Like I say, if you do like the video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We're well on our way to 10k. We are smashing them out in the off-season. Consistency is the key. Much love to you all. Have a great working week. If you want to be in the competition to win a Guernsey of your choice, make sure you become a member. Link is in the description. Until Wednesday, Pom out.